Folks, we're going to, we have a little bit of program for you, and if you want to, well, not a lot of seats to grab, but there are some seats if you want to grab a seat. It's great to have you. You have to put up with me for just a few minutes because there really is no such thing as a free, well, not lunch, but free hors d'oeuvres. I'm Paul LeBlanc, I'm the president here. It's great to have you. The university president, Patty Lynott, is here somewhere. She is the campus president. We've grown and become more complex, so our titles in our organizational chart has grown and become more complex, but Patty leads the campus. And I'm going to take just a few minutes to start the program and give you, oh, wait, it's great to see old friends like Wade here and others, give you a little bit of an overview and kind of catch you up on things going on. I don't think I've seen anybody who was here back then. Welcome back. But we've grown a lot since then. You can, I have a great little, you can see sort of a sense of the growth from 1996. I came, yeah. So it's been a bit of a rocket ride as we've stretched ourselves, and this is a little bit of a chart. Oh, is it not animated, Libby? Here we go. That's very fascinating. Is it animating? Yeah, there it is. Month by month, it gives you a sense of kind of our footprint. We set out in 2010 to build a national brand, and that's updated through 2017. So we're due to update it again, and you would see it even more filled in. It's filled in such a way that SNHU now has employees around the country. We have in a variety of roles, and we have a team going out next week to look at locations for a West Coast operations center because we need more people on the West Coast. We need to be on the time zone out there now that we have thousands of students in places like California. And we also are grappling with the fact that New Hampshire has the second lowest unemployment rate in the country after Hawaii, the lowest unemployment rate on the continent. So at this point, if anyone's looking for a job, I think we have about 200 openings. That gives you some sense of the growth, both in staff in those needs. Lots of employees. I think this has to be updated as well. I think we have broken the 10,000 mark, full and part-time, and probably the largest employer in Manchester and certainly one of the largest in the state. And of course, this is the most fitting slide of all for a day like today, homecoming, when we welcome so many of our alumni back. We now have over 100,000 alumni, and this number is being added to at a rate of about 16 to 18,000 every year. So in 5 years, 6 years, we'll be double this number. So a big footprint. And I mention it again, not because of the number or the size, but because you are part of a community that's getting larger, that has a bigger footprint, and part of what happens when you graduate from SNHU is you become part of a value-added community, a network, right? So what we're seeing more and more of, and in part because of the good work of the Career Center and the Alumni Office, is that when somebody graduates from the main campus, for example, and says, I want to work in California and I really want to work in industry X or industry Y, we know somebody. When we took the board out to Los Angeles, we do one meeting a year, we bring the board places. We took them for a half a day at SpaceX to really do a deep dive in how they're rethinking space flight. And we were able to do that because there's an SNHU alum who's now the CIO at SpaceX. And he was able to sort of plug us into that world. So this is an important piece, I think, for everybody. If you, those of you who go back sometime and remember the campus footprint when it looked like this, and then a few years later like this, and then 3 years later like this, and then 5 years later like this, and then 4 years later like this. It continues to expand and grow. And we don't want you to ever come here and be bored, so every year we try to build a new building for you all. And as you can see, yet another new dorm, and of course the library across the way. And this past year we've opened up the new athletic complex, which is a beautiful facility. And you see the steel going up across the street for the new College of Engineering, Technology, and Aeronautics. I want to pause there for a moment because CETA is a really important program for us. The country has enormous need for people in STEM fields, but particularly engineering. And this is a building that will be state-of-the-art, and I think it will be a real showcase building. More importantly, though, we just secured ABET accreditation for those programs. So ABET is the gold standard accreditation for engineering programs. We got the longest period of time that they will give accreditation for without a single condition. And that's a remarkable thing out of the gate. We've never had mechanical engineering or aeronautical engineering here before. We had our big regional accreditor was here just a couple of weeks ago, and one of the team members was an engineering professor from WPI, Worcester Polytechnical Institute, really fine institution. And he described that ABET accreditation as a near miracle. Nobody gets their first accreditation without a single item that they have to revisit. We also have reintroduced flight training, collegiate flight training to New England. So Bridgewater is the only other program in New England. So we have our first students who are flying. We have had our first students who've been licensed. There is enormous demand for pilots in the aviation industry, so we think this will be not only a high demand set of graduates, but we've been able to think about new innovative ways to dramatically bring down the cost of becoming a pilot. It has become so expensive that the children of middle class and working class families could no longer afford to be pilots, even if they had a deep abiding love of aviation. That's not the case at SNHU now. So our students will be graduating with not a lot of additional debt. They'll have the hours they need to move right into the commercial aviation industry, and they'll have their transport certification at graduation. It's a very cool thing, and it's exciting to see undergraduates in the cockpit flying. I'm not getting in any plane that they're flying. They are undergraduates after all, but I look forward to the day that I get on an airliner and find an SNHU grad in the cockpit, but not while they're learning. I think one of the things that if you haven't had an occasion to sort of to keep up with, that we're really, really proud of is that using our low-cost, very high-quality, improving competency-based program, we have been able to reach into populations that are really often left behind by higher ed at a time when we can't afford to leave anybody behind. So that's included work. Just last Saturday, I was at a little graduation in McAllen, Texas in the Rio Grande Valley, where we had our first 16 graduates out of a partnership program. 15 of the 16 were Mexican American, a couple of them were DACA students. These were not students who are otherwise going to have an opportunity to get involved with higher education, and now they have their degrees. And you couldn't be more proud of them. And one of the things that I was struck by is, now we're so big, we do 4 graduations over 2 days at the SNHU Arena. And you get a little punchy by the end of 4 of those, but they still have that great intimacy and warmth that I think characterizes our graduations. This tiny little graduation, even though it looks so different, really felt like an SNHU graduation. It was warm, it was really focused on the students, there was enough of the ceremony, but there was good cheer and good humor, and it was still really very much the same story, right? Unlocking opportunity for people. These are the children of working class parents for the most part. These were first generation. I think every single one of them was first generation. And it was just incredibly heartwarming. All of you would have loved to have been there, I think, for that. We had been doing this similar work in a refugee camp in Rwanda now for 4 years. A year ago, that work went on the radar screen of a group of very wealthy donors, and they were very interested in hearing more. And as they heard more, they asked us to expand that effort. So since, April, we have expanded that effort into Kenya, into Malawi, into South Africa, and also into Lebanon. And we have trustees going over later this year. We had our board meeting the last 2 days, and we had 2 students, undergrads, talk about their experience. The work with refugees is amazing. These are people who live in some of the hardest places you can imagine. There are more refugees in the world today than there has been since World War II. There's 65 million of them. It's hard to count, but that's the best guess. Less than 1% of them have access to higher education. We are the only university doing this ambitious attempt to bring full-blown degree programs into the refugee camps. And as you know, many refugees aren't in camps. They're spread out in places like Lebanon, and we're reaching out to them. And I wanted to just take 3 minutes of your time to give you a little bit of a window into what that looks like. This is a video from the camp, from one of the camps.
come back for today's class. This is going to be our first class of the year.
The Kaplan model takes the Southern New Hampshire University program, and we focus on professional competencies.
Before attending Kepler, I was so hopeless because I was thinking, I don't have parents, my grandmother who care me, she gonna die. And even the degree that I have from secondary school, it can't permit you to get even any kind of job.
In my culture, the women don't go to school because we haven't the courage of study. But the important for me is education, because when I get education, I get a job and I support my family and others.
We are going to do some games that are going to help us know each other.
Now that Southern Hampshire has made it possible for the students to get that college degree, it's going to change their lives.
They are getting the professional skills that they will need on the job. Things like having a difficult conversation, managing stress, time management, all those things are not offered at a traditional university in Rwanda.
Because I'm a student, I'm able to resolve my own problem, negotiate with people, communicate with them, collaborate with them, which was not my character before coming.
The students, they will be able to get jobs outside of the camp and better their lives and also the lives also of their loved ones and the family.
Hopefully it goes to other refugee camps because, when we think about education, you want every student to succeed, you want every student to do well. So I feel like it's going to be an inspiration for other students and refugee camps to say that they can actually do more.
There is hope. The hope that we have, it is because we now attend classes which will give us international degree, which will permit you to compete anywhere in the world.
I used to pray to say, God, change our life. For now, I pray to get to university.
So I like to say that we're in the business of hope, and I think we're bringing hope to a population that gets very little of it. Everyone who's interacted with our refugee students would tell you that they are driven, right? This is their one shot. They're really smart. It's a good reminder that talent is ubiquitously distributed, but what they don't have is opportunity. Opportunity is not. You'd be proud to know any one of these graduates. We're very proud. When we think about our students, whether it's a DACA student in the Rio Grande Valley, or if it's an online student living in California, or if it's a UC student living here on campus, or it's wherever, we don't have separate students. We just have SNHU students, and they're great, and these students are very much of that ilk. I've heard people on campus have heard me say that when you're working in a small community organization, one of the questions you can ask about your mission and its impact is, would anybody miss you if you were gone? It really is actually a very good question to sharpen your mind. Like, would they just fill in the gap? Would anybody really care a year or two later? And sometimes we ask that question. We thought, I'm going to take that heuristic and ask that question of our students. Would anybody miss us if you're gone? Notice that snappy visual. And this was the answer.
I never thought I could. I never thought I was smart enough. My husband went back a couple years ago, and watching him do it, and I decided I'm going to give that a shot.
It really is designed to help students be successful and feel successful.
I can apply the skills I get in this higher education with that degree of Southern New Hampshire University.
I felt like this is an institution that doesn't just want my money. They want me to come here because they want to better me.
SNHU is my second home. My graduation and the journey I've gone on has helped us to push our boundaries and to do things we never would have thought we would have done.
SNHU is helping me to achieve the goals I want to achieve, to live the life I want to live.
The staff, they just will go above and beyond. They're just amazing.
They make you feel so involved and so connected. I felt like even miles away, I was still at their campus.
This will improve my life as a refugee. I will get the ability to support my life, my family, and my community.
Going to Southern New Hampshire University is the best decision that I've ever made.
One thing I usually tell other military spouses is that you can still get it done. You know, it doesn't have to look like what everybody else's journey looks like.
The support that I got coming from Afghanistan, knowing nothing and now knowing almost everything, and that was SNHU helped me a lot.
Being able to take advantage of SNHU and get my degree alongside my father was something I couldn't have done if I had followed the traditional path.
And we couldn't have done it without SNHU.
Exactly.
Really, this is a great place.
I want to say, as we wrap up, my bit of the program is to share this with you because every student type we have is in this video. UC students, there's a DACA student there, there's an international student from Afghanistan, there's a military family. Almost 18% of our online students are military now. And it gives you a sense of not only the variety, but also the impact. We would very surely be missed. There are a lot of people in that video who might not otherwise have a higher education without us. I'll finish with just a quick quote, if you don't mind, and I only got this yesterday, but we had our big accreditation visit, as I mentioned, and it was chaired by Kurt Kohlenbrander, who's a senior vice president at MIT. And they did a deep dive with us. This is the big 10-year reaccreditation. We spent months and months preparing for it. They go through reams of data. They spend time on campus for days. They're talking to students and faculty and employees of all stripes, and they really, really come to understand us. And I think we were hard to understand, right? If you come from a conventional university and take a look at this place, it's like there are a lot of moving parts, and it's exactly what they said. We did some unusual things. They never do a pre-visit orientation. We did a pre-visit orientation. We have lots of acronyms. We love our acronyms, so we had to explain those, and we explained how all the parts fit together. At the end of that visit, they write their report, and this is from the last paragraph. And again, we just got this yesterday. So looking at this institution from the very highest level, it is clear to us that SNHU is world class. It is the largest private nonprofit university in the nation, now having over 135,000 learners. It serves students in all 50 states and globally, including in refugee populations in Rwanda, Kenya, Malawi, South Africa, and Lebanon. It offers traditional campus-based experiences, online education, and direct assessment competency-based programs. Its strategic planning and implementation are exceptional in scope and effectiveness. It is continuously shaping our understanding of higher education and the role it plays in the lives of people around the world. I couldn't have written a better closing paragraph if that allowed me. And we're very proud. This is a group effort. This is everybody involved, and that extends to our alums. So many of you who are involved, who work with us in so many ways, we want to thank you. We'll continue to work hard to be better, to do better, and to touch more people's lives. So thank you so much for being part of the SNHU, the large and growing SNHU community. Welcome back to your campus. It's great to have you back. The weather finally cleared for us. We couldn't be more pleased. Thank you. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Tim Girardi, who is the president of the Alumni Association, who will make some remarks and do the alumni award presentations. Please join me in welcoming Tim to the podium.
Thank you, Paul. And I want to say thank you for joining us at the Out of This World Homecoming Celebration. This weekend celebrates alumni, students, faculty, staff, families, and friends of Southern New Hampshire University. As president of the Alumni Association, I am proud of the active role that alumni played throughout the year to support student success and each other. Thank you to many who have volunteered with students, supported scholarships for our students, and been advocates for your alma mater. Together, we make SNHU the best global community possible with more than 105,000 alumni around the world. Earlier today, more than 80 students and alumni gathered for a meetup in San Diego, California. Over 300 SNHU community members downloaded race bibs and ran or walked their own 5K from as far away as Saudi Arabia to the south in Texas. And more than 150 online students participated in a virtual trivia meetup as part of a SNHU Connect meetup anchored with others in the Last Chapter Pub. The SNHU community really is everywhere. Yesterday, more than 100 golfers, I was one of them, played in our annual Alumni, Family, and Friends golf tournament to benefit the Alumni Leadership Scholarship. I am particularly proud of the hundreds who have continued to support the Alumni Leadership Scholarship Fund. This was launched by the Alumni Board of Directors in the summer of 2017. This is now an endowed scholarship to support emerging student leaders both on campus and online. Every year, the Alumni Association recognizes 3 alumni or members of the SNHU family for their contributions. This year, we have 2 recipients who will be beamed into us for the Out of This World celebration. The first is the Alumni Award recipient. This award was established in 2000. It is designed to recognize younger alumni who graduated not more than 5 years ago and have demonstrated leadership and support to the Alumni Association and to Southern New Hampshire University. This year's recipient is Sylvain Nakaturki of 2016. Sylvain was nominated by Kepler classmates and fellow alumni for his commitment to engaging alumni and students in Kigali, Rwanda. Most recently, he successfully organized a community project as part of our 2018 Global Days of Service program. Alumni and SNHU community members around the world were involved in projects throughout the month of April to demonstrate the impact of the SNHU community wherever they are. Sylvain and the volunteers collected and distributed supplies to 50 pediatric patients and 30 women patients with fistula at local clinics. He was recently featured in a volunteer spotlight by the Office of Alumni Engagement for his efforts to help build community in Kigali. Last month, we were able to present Sylvain with his award with a reception. Here is a clip from the presentation.
So Sylvain, on behalf of Chum Girardi, President of Southern New Hampshire University's Alumni Association, I'd like to congratulate you as this year's Young Alumni Award recipient, and you're the only one. This award was established in 2000, and it is designed to recognize younger alumni, such as yourself, who have graduated within the last 5 years, and who have demonstrated leadership and support to the Alumni Association and to Southern New Hampshire University. Sylvain was nominated by Kepler classmates and fellow alumni Giselle Gizoho, Jean-René McKenzie, and Joyous for his commitment to engaging alumni and students in Kigali. Most recently, he successfully organized a community project as a part of the 2018 Global Days of Service program.
We are all grateful for the SNHU, which helped us transform our lives, and giving back to the community. I think it's our success and it's the success of the SNHU. Again, thank you so much. Look forward to impacting more lives in the community.
For me, SNHU means a family to me. I would say it's a family because in a family, a child is the parents make sure that the child is learning, is growing. So from SNHU, I've been able to grow. I see many opportunities, and it's a family because I see opportunities. I can grow and develop leadership. I see myself as an important person to the community. So it's really good to be part of the SNHU, and I believe SNHU is doing an amazing job to develop, to change lives of the student, as it's in the mission of transforming lives of students. It really works, and I would say SNHU, keep it up. You are doing a good job, and keep transforming more lives of people.
Please join me in congratulating Sylvain, and thank you for your leadership in the community with SNHU. Next, and someone who's actually joining us today, we have the Distinguished Service Award. This will be bestowed to Nick Bratton, class of '76. This award can be given to an alumnus, alumna, faculty, staff, or friend of the university for leadership, dedication, and loyal service to the university and its objectives. The alumnus or alumna must have graduated 6 or more years ago to be considered for this award. Nick Bratton has been a constant supporter of his alma mater for a long time. From his activities as a lifetime donor, participation at the Business Indicator Series, or continued engagement in his fraternity, Kappa Delta Phi, his passion for SNHU runs deep. When Southern New Hampshire University announced its redefinition of alumni giving, Nick was quick to raise his hand to also volunteer his time. He has joined us on campus to assist with mock interviews, resume critiques, networking nights for our Degree in 3 students and veterans, and sharing his story. Fellow alumna Elizabeth Keaton worked closely with Nick on many career-related activities. She had the following to say: the Business Dictionary describes as a role model as someone who other individuals aspire to be, whether in present or in the future. Nick is not only a distinguished alumnus of SNHU, but a role model to both students and graduates. I noticed his commitment to students' professional success through his commitment to attend every career event on campus. Whenever called upon, even during pending snowstorms, you can always bet Nick will be there. Nick's involvement, passion, and commitment to our university is truly remarkable. And I know I can speak for my fellow classmates and colleagues that we only hope to be half the alumni Nick has proved himself to be today. Nick is also a strong advocate for SNHU. He is always willing to share why he gives and the impact that he has seen. But he also goes one step further. He is quick to invite other alumni to join him in his commitments. Whether it is inviting a colleague to join him at one of SNHU's many events, or encouraging his employees to volunteer their time at one of the many student-facing programs. Nick's overall impact goes beyond just him. Without a doubt, Nick is a great example of what an engaged alumnus can look like. He is committed to SNHU and its students and is willing to put in the time and resources to help make success possible and for future generations. Please help me in thanking Nick Bratton for his distinguished service to Southern New Hampshire University. Nick?
Wow. I'm humbled by that. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the nomination. And I only have about 14 pages here. I'll be grab another drink. Graduated in '76, so this is in font 14. You know, I'd like to welcome everybody and extend my appreciation for your attendance. I want to thank the Alumni Association, Tim, and the entire community for your recognition and for the award. Mostly, I'd like to welcome my lovely children that are here tonight. Nick, I'll start with my oldest, Anna, then go to my two sons, Nick and Steven, and they are here with their lovely girlfriends that have become part of the family, and I'm honored to have them all here, so thank you very much. And, they're, anyone who's a parent, you know what I mean. They're your spirit, your motivation, and your drive. So, I try to be as active as possible in this Southern New Hampshire University community, and I know there are many alumni that also are. So it puzzles me as to why I was selected, but I am, as I said before, very humbled and grateful. I'm a transplant from Massachusetts, as many New Hampshire residents are. I came here in 1972 as a timid and shy freshman. Coming from a high school of 800 students, I was looking for the same environment. I'm not sure how my guidance counselor at high school found New Hampshire College at the time, but I'm certainly pleased she did. I adapted and grew and never left Manchester, the city that I truly love. Under the guidance of Dick Gustafson and Paul LeBlanc, the college has grown beyond our expectations. Now when someone out of state asks me where I went to college, I say, have you ever seen the TV commercial about SNHU? Well, SNHU gave me the skills and confidence to start a business. I wish my revenues were similar to the advertising revenue, the advertising budget that Southern New Hampshire University has. All kidding aside, due to my love and respect of the college, I often turn to my contacts here at SNHU for when I'm looking for a new employee. I'm proud to say this has been very successful for us. Approximately 10 years ago, I hired an IT intern who went on for a lucrative career at Liberty Mutual and has grown in his years with his career. 2 years ago, I also hired a young graduate to join our IT staff. I'm happy to say that she has exceeded our expectations and is still a very valuable member of our team. This summer, she left for a maternity leave. So naturally, I contacted the college looking for a summer intern. Well, this little whippersnapper of a kid happens to have some coding skills that just transforms us and improves our processes on a daily basis. He stayed with us part-time this summer as he's finishing his senior year, comes to work 5 days a week and works till 9 o'clock at night. And I'm very happy to say that he has accepted our full-time employment offer for when he graduates in May. So in closing, I will say Southern New Hampshire University is a gift that keeps on giving. I am proud, lucky, and honored to be part of this Southern New Hampshire University community. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Nick. Our last award this afternoon is our Hall of Fame Award. This award was created in 1991 to recognize an alumnus or alumna who graduated 10 or more years ago and has made outstanding contributions to his or her profession, community, and to Southern New Hampshire University. The Alumni Association is proud to honor Ed Wallach as this year's Hall of Fame recipient. Ed is unable to be here today due to a family commitment. However, we were able to recognize Ed at the Board of Trustee retreat earlier this week. And we have a clip to beam him in to us today. Please play the clip. Ed Wallach, who is going to be receiving the Hall of Fame Award by the Alumni Association. So to give everybody a sense, the Hall of Fame Award is presented by the Alumni Association annually at the President's Reception, which Ed won't be able to make this Saturday. The award, it was created back in '91 to recognize an alumnus or alumna who graduated 10 or more years. Have you graduated more than 10 years ago? Oh, we're giving it to you anyway.
We're waiving the restriction though.
And has made an outstanding contribution to his or her profession, community, and to Southern New Hampshire University. This year, we're here to celebrate Ed, class of '74, so I guess it has been more than 10 years. Ed was a teenager when he began working at the local Dunkin' Donuts, continuing to work there through college at then New Hampshire College. Upon graduation, he was invited to manage 3 locations, continuing to learn all aspects of the business. The combination of what he learned in the business and at New Hampshire College positioned him to buy his first store in Portland, Maine in 1975. Fast forward to 2018, the Wallach Group has nearly 100 Dunkin' Donuts stores throughout northern New England and upstate New York. As part of his commitment to more than 2,100 employees, he has built a career development center in Syracuse, New York to help new employees get real-world experience while in training. Additionally, after 1 year of employment, they can qualify for management promotions and 100% reimbursement for enrollment in Southern New Hampshire University's online degree programs. The Wallach Group exemplifies positive community partnerships through its philanthropy. And Ed has been an active trustee with the SNHU Board of Trustees and invested in student success through the establishment of scholarships for our students. The Wallach Library Learning Commons was a way to honor his commitment to his alma mater and to the success of all students. One of the nominators remarked, "When I had a chance to work on the Board of Trustees as a student representative, Ed and I hit it off." This, by the way, is Matt DeMichael. We both connected over the hospitality industry and franchising, and he taught me a thing or two. Although we both had similar beginnings working in the fast food industry at a young age, Ed taught me something that I think not a lot of people feel obligated to do. Ed gave his time, talent, and treasures back to our community.
You went to Chick-fil-A.
Yes, he did.
Nobody's
He's dead to me. He's dead to me, that's right. He's dead to me, you're dead to me. That is an inspiration to me, not because he's a successful, wealthy entrepreneur, but because he showed me what servant leadership looks like. Thank you, Ed, for making your own wealth worth it. Thank you for giving back and investing in relationships and resources that provide opportunity for those that work so hard to make dreams become reality. I believe you created a legacy that will have a positive consequence and results for many years to come. Thank you, Ed, and congratulations on this year's Hall of Fame recipient.
Thank you, Tim, and the Alumni Board. It's a pleasant surprise. I actually nominated Mark for the Hall of Fame. And when you called me, I thought you were just calling to congratulate me for making a wise choice. He interrupted me. And
We
he
shot
said,
that
no,
down.
It was wiped off 9 years ago. And he said, no, Mark's already in. So I guess being a carpenter, you'll have to be satisfied with.
You remember what Groucho Marx said? I don't want to be part of an organization that had me as a member.
So, thank you, Rick.
So with that, on behalf of the Alumni Board of Directors, thank you so much for joining us for homecoming and for all you bring to the SNHU community throughout the year. We look forward to the many ways we will continue to grow and show our pride in Southern New Hampshire University. With that, I would like to introduce Student Government President Sina Dumaniwa. Did I say that right?
My name is Iesina Duboniua, and I'm a junior at SNHU. It is my honor to serve the student body as a math tutor and as the Student Government Association president. I want to extend a big warm welcome to the students, faculty, staff, and administration in attendance, and a huge welcome back to our alumni who are here today. For the alumni in particular, your presence shows students like me that your experiences at Southern New Hampshire University resonate well beyond your time in college. I hope this year's homecoming helps you reminisce on the good times. But I also hope you remember the growth moments you've had here and how those have shaped you into who you are today. If I could sum up my college experiences to this point in one word, I would say opportunities. This is what I knew I would find when I first stepped on campus. SNHU gives you a sense of warmth, positivity, and support. This university creates a safe place to make mistakes and be your best self. Being a math tutor at the Wallach Learning Center has given me the chance to share my knowledge and uplift fellow students. Being able to make a direct positive impact in a student's life is a snapshot of what SNHU has to offer. This university has given me the opportunity to utilize my passion and knowledge in mathematics for the greater good. As the president of the Student Government Association, I have been given the chance to be a voice for all students, including those who are often unheard. In society, there can sometimes be a disconnect between knowing what is right and doing what is right. But being the SGA president has allowed me to join the two. At SNHU, there are students who come from different corners of the world, and there are students who belong to various cultures and identities. As president, I take it as part of my responsibility to create an environment that reflects the uniqueness of our student population. It is a privilege to be part of a university that allows us to set the stone for our community. Southern New Hampshire University has given me the opportunity to know my purpose as a leader in this world. That's part of what makes this place so special. As I'm sure many of you would agree, SNHU helps students discover who they are and helps them know their purpose. I am grateful for that opportunity. Again, I thank you all for being here this weekend. I look forward to getting the chance to meeting many of you and hearing your stories and how this place has shaped you into who you are today. Thank you.
I think we have a guest speaker, Patty Lynott.
So, hi everybody, I'm Patty. My boss, the tall president, which we like to refer to him as so as to distinguish from the good-looking president. He would not mention this, but I think it's tomorrow, he is another year older. And I'm not sure if it's 71 or 72, but I know that he would want us to just give him a nice, warm, happy birthday to the president of our university, Paul LeBlanc.
No one said, let's dance. Let's have some fun. Let's drink. Should we sing? Someone else start it. So there's still lots to celebrate with homecoming. We still have time here together with this reception. Our fireworks are at 7 tonight over by the softball fields. There are athletic games. There's Big Money Bingo in here later this evening. The programs are at the front desk. Thank you all for coming back. Welcome home and enjoy. I just want to tell you that our band, the music today provided to us, is the SNHU Jam Band. They're all employees of Southern New Hampshire University. I think they're rocking it pretty well today. So continue to enjoy each other's company, and thank you for coming home.